Mr. Beast, the world-famous YouTuber who averages 150 million views per video, spends thousands of dollars on thumbnails.
Can you tell them what you invest per thumbnail?
Yeah, well, we probably spend around $5,000 to $10,000 a thumbnail, just making sure we get
On top of this, he also stated that he makes literally around 20 thumbnails for each video. You might think, well, he is already a popular person. Why is he even obsessed with thumbnails? Even if you've made the best video in the entire YouTube world, no one will watch it if they don't find the thumbnail interesting. This means less CTR, fewer impressions, and fewer views. Most people don't know how to create the best thumbnail to increase views. There are 3 main points we are going to discuss in this video. The first one is the design aspect, which means how a thumbnail should be designed. The second one is the story aspect, where we analyze the thumbnails of viral videos and their ideas and concepts. I'll tell you the difference between a good and a great thumbnail. And in the end, there will be a quick tutorial on how to easily create a thumbnail in a short time. So while designing the thumbnail, the main thing you need to remember is to prioritize the focus. You need to think about the main goal of the video you made and focus on that in the thumbnail by making it the center of attention. For example, if a video is about a phone review, a major part of the thumbnail should be occupied by an image of that phone, rather than text and other elements. It's a basic point that whatever occupies the maximum space in the thumbnail will directly capture the audience's attention. So keep this in mind when designing the thumbnail. In case you use your face in the thumbnail, remember that only 1/3 of the frame should be occupied by it. The remaining 2/3 of the image should be filled with details like text or elements related to that particular video. The next thing I want to discuss is text and font. Most thumbnails on YouTube contain text, but the sad part is that most people use it in the wrong way. Text is an important part of the thumbnail for conveying essential information, but you have to use it along with an element. Try using fewer words with a larger font so it's easily readable. When selecting the size of text, remember that the larger a word is, the more emphasis it has. So always keep the power words in a bigger size. Talking about fonts, whatever you use, remember that it should be at least readable. Don't use overly fancy fonts that take 5 to 6 seconds to read. Also, fonts should match the overall vibe and emotion of your video. For example, if a video is fitness related, you cannot use a font like this, right? You should use a bold font that conveys the fitness and strength vibes. We can differentiate most fonts into 2 types. In serif fonts, letters end with a stroke, while this doesn't happen in sans serif fonts. Serif fonts give a formal and classy vibe, while sans serif fonts express modern, simple, and fun emotions. So you have to think about which type of emotions you are planning to convey as a brand and choose serif or sans serif accordingly. Let's talk about colors. When choosing colors, keep in mind that your video is competing with a huge number of videos in the audience feed to grab their attention. So I suggest using bright colors that will stand out on the screen. You might use them in images, text, or in the form of bright elements. I know many of you face problems while choosing color combinations, so I suggest using something called a color wheel. You might have seen it at least once anywhere. The colors that are in opposite positions are called complementary colors. Like the complementary color for red will be green. For orange, it will be blue. And for yellow, it will be purple. So it's a proven fact that when you use complementary colors, your thumbnail will become visually attractive and bright. For example, you can see these thumbnails in which red and green colors have been used. That's why they look bright and attractive. If you are not using complementary colors, at least use contrasting colors. If the background is dark, the text and other elements must be in a light color and vice versa. In this way, you can choose the best colors for text, background, and elements in your thumbnail. Now that we've discussed color and fonts, let's talk about brand consistency. If you visit any channel and find their thumbnails consistent with the same vibes and design, those channels are more likely to be attractive to the audience compared to others. One more benefit of maintaining consistency is that viewers can recognize your videos easily, which reduces the decision-making time when clicking on videos. To achieve brand consistency, you need to maintain the same font and color combination across all your thumbnails. For example, if you look at my channel, I currently use the Unisans font and green or white color for text. That's why you might find consistency in my thumbnails. In this way, you can also select a design for your own channel. Finally, let's talk about one more important topic in the design aspect. Number 1. Remove unnecessary elements and details. As we know, the audience's attention span is very short, so don't distract them. Try to remove useless things from the thumbnail that won't add any value to it. Number 2. Right alignment. This thumbnail is perfect in all ways, but due to the wrong alignment, a lot of space has been left empty, which doesn't look good, so always keep the alignment right. Number 3. Optimize your thumbnail for all devices. Remember that your video might be seen on small and large devices. There are online tools like thumbnailpreview.com that you can use to see how your thumbnail will look across all devices and make any necessary changes. For example, there is a video called How to Get More Views with this thumbnail. You can see that all the color combinations were used correctly, the font is related to the video, and the face is also used only in 1/3 of the frame. Design-wise, this thumbnail is a 10 out of 10. But the question is it clickable? The answer will mostly be no. Now look at this thumbnail in the same scenario. Simple background, simple text, simple elements. Design-wise, it would have taken less time and effort to make compared to the previous one, but it is 10 times more clickable than the previous one. Why? Because it tells a story. The video is about how to get more views, and we understand that from the title itself. So the question is, why repeat the same information in the thumbnail? This brings me to the main point of a video: the difference between a good and a great thumbnail. A good thumbnail simply informs the viewer about what the video is about, while a great thumbnail tells a story. For example, on the YouTube guide itself, there's a video titled, "It is not yellow," and the thumbnail is filled with yellow color. This instantly raises multiple questions in the viewer's mind, like what, why, how, and prompts them to click the video to learn more. Another example is from Ryan Trahan. His video, "I Survived World's Loudest Room," has this thumbnail. As soon as we see the thumbnail, a storyline pops into our minds that just 31 seconds after sitting in the loudest room, he started feeling crazy. So the main point I want to highlight here is that whatever information is already visible in the title, there's no need to repeat it in the thumbnail. Be a little creative, explore different ideas, and use a thumbnail and title that, when combined, create a story in the audience's mind. Finally, there is no one single template or idea for a thumbnail that guarantees it will go viral. You have to brainstorm for each video, keeping all these points in mind to create a storytelling experience for the audience. As I mentioned, I'll show you a tutorial on how to create a perfect thumbnail in the end, but I think the video will be too lengthy if I add it here. If you're interested in seeing the tutorial, especially on designing a thumbnail on a smartphone without using Photoshop, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want to learn how to optimize SEO for your videos, you can click here and watch the video. Click away, I'll meet you there.